Just trying to set up the audio at the moment, hoping it'll work. And we're on, kind of. Right. Evening. Wow, that's not really in the right place, is it? Let's try that. Okay, kind of better. Close enough, he says. There you go. Yeah, right. It's like glare kind of too much. Yeah. Delivered it for now. I don't really have that much setting over this camera, unfortunately, because, well, Mac, as you can see. So, nice easy one tonight. Got A500 Plus that's had battery damage. It's been repaired, so pretty much every component in this general area was removed. It was cleaned up, it's all been put back. The machine itself works fine, but I'm going to do a recap on it anyway. And I guess we go from there. It's always fun and games. And hello, Ronan. Yeah, you should work at a camera mount for your stuff, Aid. Sip of tea before we get going. Wow, 3 people. It's a miracle. Can everyone hear me okay? So I've got a new microphone set up that I didn't use previously, and I'm hoping that it's going to be okay volume wise. Of course, the most annoying thing is that the mic itself is not that close to me. In fact, the closer thing is the Mooer, which we're going to turn on now. It's going to be loud as hell. Wow. Yeah, okay, you're not going to hear me over much of this. Yeah, there's a bit of delay on the chat, by the way. Right. So, yeah, fairly straightforward. 17 caps total. Already got the new caps out. So it's just a matter of taking these buggers out, and they are not easy. So the problem with the through holes on here is that, first of all, there's a good example. They've basically, I can get a good close up on them. They have bent each of the pins so they don't come out, and especially ones like the ones there, the ground plane there, and probably plus voltage plane, I'd guess. There is so much meat in that on these boards that they just take a lot of heat, you know. So what I'm going to do is attempt to do them one at a time, just so I don't have to remember what goes where. Might do them in groups. I've got written down here, so we've got 3000 mic, 600 mics, 247s, 322s, 210s. Interestingly, they're 22s. They've got 2 different kinds of 22s on this board. So for some reason they've got the lighter blues, and they've got that's a 10, that's a 22. Or is that a 10? So it's not being able to see it. It's 47. Yeah, so that's a 22, that's a 22, and these 2 down here are 22s. So you can see they've actually got different makes, which is rather interesting. I wonder if they're different temperatures. 2285, and those are also 2285s. Yeah, so yeah. Right. So I'm going to do them in groups, I think, just to get around the problem of trying to remember what goes where. And I guess we get started. The worst ones of the lot, which are the big ass ones. Right, Mooer's just up to temperature. So what I'm going to do first of all, I'm going to flow a little bit of solder onto them. I am running out, which is not a very good thing. and go from there. So these 2 pins here, these 2 pins here, and these 2 pins here. Now, the reason for flying solder on first is that you get more solder mass on there. It makes it a lot easier to actually desolder afterwards. We're also heating up the board a little bit first, which is kind of handy, especially in places like here where we've got so much of a ground plane. Yeah. That we're not even melting the solder on that really. That's a good start. And that's set to a bit of 290 there. To go up on that, I think, to 350. It's not really what I want to do. So leaded solder melts at around about 200 degrees. Unleaded solder melts around about 250. And they use unleaded for most of these boards. So we put some fresh solder on there just to help it along. Or at least we would if we could actually get any kind of temperature into this, which is just not happening. We'll go to the other pin instead and see if we can get that. Alright, there you go, that one's gone. It's going to be the way it goes this evening. The main thing is just being careful that we don't end up not melting the solder when we do it, when we actually put the solder sucker on. So we'll either end up with it stuck on the board, or we'll end up yanking it and pulling the track off the board, which is really the last thing we want. And unfortunately, it's quite easy to lift tracks on these things. So you can see there, I'm getting a nice old blob on there. No, it's not the way I normally solder. Another one on a ground plane or a power plane, probably power. There we go. And we'll see if we can get this one again. I'd like to get it tipped up if I can. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Alright, there we go, slowly going. Just hold the temperature on there for a little bit. The worst case scenario is I'll get the big guns out. Nobody likes to see a 100-watt soldering gun used on these things, but sometimes it just becomes necessary. There we go. Alright, let's see now. Sip of tea. What we can get off this. This one here is going to be the biggest problem, primarily because we've got the ground plane there, and that ground plane is huge. Along there, you can just see the that pin in the middle of the ground plane. That's going to suck out so much heat. In fact, the actual thing itself is bloody hot already. Yeah, let's give this a whirl. Got it? Yes, we have. Right, there's one side moved. We'll do this one here now because this is nice and easy. Yeah. Melt it back on. Come on. Right. First one out. Yeah, okay. Not quite enough, I think, yeah. Double checking outside, make sure we've not actually melted anything. No, they look clean, which is good. 2 out. And last one, not least. Let's see if we can get anything nearer this one. She's loose. More heat. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice and easy. Getting it back in is going to be as fun. Okay, but try. So, had good old yeah. That light is so bright. Can't even see that, can you? Never mind. There you go. 1010's coming out. 1010's going back. And you can see the differential in size of old cap versus new cap. Yeah. Some modern technology for you. There's a better quality caps as well. Alright. Make sure we get these back in the right way. Heh. Not like I've ever put them in the wrong way before, especially not on screen. Right, let's do this the easy way. Grab a solder, straight on the pin. There we go. Hold in place. Now we'll see if we can get this ground in place. It's going to be the worst one to solder in the whole lot. Yeah, man. And it's not wanting to take, which is of course annoying. Just a little touch of flux. Yeah. There we go. Kinda. Yep, that's good. Right. Okay. That's the first one in place. Right. One down. 16 more to go. Yep, that's good. Alright. Second one in. A lot of people ask, about keeping the components in place while you're placing them on the board. And this little trick's actually quite useful, where you just put a bit, rather than, oh nice, I've achieved my goal for today. Rather than putting, yes, rather than trying to solder it in and hold it at the same time, it's easy just to tap a little bit of solder in place. And onto one pin by dabbing some on the iron and then just holding it on. All you've got to do is tack it in place long enough to hold to put the other pin on, and then you can go back and do the first pin, as long as the flux from the solder lasts long enough. So basically, if it's still smoking, then you've still got flux, and that's the main thing. So how much easier was that than the first one? And then what we can do, to make them look nice afterwards, you just hold the component in place, just give it a little tap. It'll melt over onto the top of the pin. Looks good. Almost factory. So that one is almost not factory. Ew. Alright, bit of flux. Okay. There we go, much better. Right. And the third one. You also, if you pick the pin with the lowest thermal mass when you do this, yeah, in place. But I mean the one that's got the least amount of copper on it makes life an awful lot easier. Okay, first two in place. Alright, take them out, mark them off, carry on. 100 mic next, should have 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep, good. And that replaces those. Unfortunately, most of these are in a better place, so I tried doing this without taking the, without putting leaded solder on first, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's not working so well. That's it. Yeah. So that's now we've got the solder pump is blocked, which is fun. Oh, it really is blocked. There we go. So what we've had happen there is that we've got rid of most of the solder, but not enough. And the problem now is that we probably haven't got enough thermal mass here, enough contact to actually be able to melt the rest of the solder that's there. So yeah. Well, the recapping is not that difficult, as long as you've got the tools. And the problem is, if you get it wrong, you'll break it. So it takes me a while to look at chat. Come on, there we go. Oh, I had you. Right. So we've got... Come on. You're free. There we go. Yes. 1. Just to double check. Yep. 116. A little bit dry on this side. Yeah. No one can solder terribly. No, that's a lie. Everyone can solder terribly if you try hard enough. I've seen some pretty awful soldering by people that have YouTube channels. Great Scott is one of them. The stuff that he makes is great, but unfortunately the quality of the soldering leaves a small amount to be desired. It's like he does surface mount work, and it's just like, yeah. So I'm pretty sure that Molly can do better. In fact, I know Molly can do better because I've seen her do better. Alright. Give it a wiggle. There we go. Keep wiggling. There we go, right. And another one on a huge ground plane. Not enough. So I've actually seen people try and do recaps on these things with one of these solder suckers. That's just like a solder sucker on a normal soldering iron. It's just not going to happen. You know, it's possible without temperature controlled soldering iron, that you do risk an awful lot of damage on the board, but sometimes it just becomes necessary because some of these, there is so much thermal mass that it just won't desolder without it. Oh, come on. You're out. Yep, you're out. But you've left stuff in the hole, haven't you? Well, have you? Oh no, we're clear. Cool. Oh, that was close. So what happened there, as it came, but we've got it was dry on this side. So I'll see if I can actually get a close-up of this. You can see what happens if you don't manage to melt the solder right through. So we've got over here. So that's a properly melted joint, and as you can see, the solder is gone from right round it. And you compare that to the next joint over, and you can see there where it hasn't melted right through, and we've actually pulled the component leg out of the solder. Now, if we'd have done that on, I'll try and find, somewhere around here there'll be some example of it. And of course there isn't. There we go, right. So if you, for example, if we'd done it over here, if we'd have done that on a component like that, what we would have ended up doing was actually ripping the pad clean off the board. I've seen it happen before, and it's not pretty. It's also not that easy to repair. So to give you a rough idea of the sort of scale of what we're looking at right now, the size of these tracks, you know, it's there's the tip of my finger. So let's can we get it? Yeah, we can get it. Yeah, it's there. So there's not much in the way holding them on, and if you get it wrong, you can really do some damage. That's not pretty in any way, shape or form. It's repairable. You know, we did it over here underneath Gary. When I took the have I got them around still? Nah, I think I've thrown them now. So both of the sockets for both Gary and CIB were dead. The battery acid had basically ended up going underneath both of them, and they had pins come off them. So these are the original Gary, original CIA. So the actual chips themselves survived. It was just the socket that took the brunt of it. And when I desoldered this socket, one of the pins on the top side here didn't desolder properly like that, and I actually pulled half the track off underneath. So that's now been had to be repaired. So what we're doing now is we'll melt this out, clean this hole through. You can now smell burning, which is never a good sign. I just burnt through onto the hole. Yeah. There we go. Problem solved. Right, that's that hole gone. So that's the first two, I guess. Yeah. So things you don't need helping you while you're working on stuff like this. You definitely don't need one of these. Not the most useful thing in the world. There you go. Super surprised kitty. She's pretty hungry. I was supposed to feed her at 10. Oh well. Never mind. I have to wait. We have capacitor to be removing. Right. Next. So what I'm also doing with these, you can see when I, well maybe you can't, when I first put the iron on, I put the iron on the tip of the pin, and then I pull it towards the centre, and that basically bends the pin over where they've bent it already. There we go. Sorted. So it resolves the issue of, what am I doing with these? That one. Right. Resolves the issue of where they've bent them over. You can come a cropper doing that if you don't get it quite right, because you can actually, while you're levering like that, sometimes you can end up damaging the board, especially on the smaller pads. I've got quite a bit of heat going in here as well. The desoldering iron is currently set to 375. Doing the hundreds yet? Not on that one. So got a fair amount of temperature going through this. Be a little bit on the careful side. That one came out nice and easy because that one I took out and put back when I was doing the repair around this area. And so I took out literally every component from here, right, actually not in shot, are you? Right, from here right through, so everything here, all of this, all of these, all of these, all this lot came out. Cleaned each component individually to make sure they were all fine, put them back. We lost a few, so there's a couple of resistors and a capacitor that died. And one of these triple leg caps also died. Unfortunately, the person that I'm repairing it for has a donor. Well, this is a proper dead board. This is what I would claim as unrecoverable. You can see it's got acid damage right from the corner right up here, right down halfway across the ram chips over there. So yeah, this one is. It probably could be recovered. I wouldn't like to be doing it. You know, it's got damage as far as Agnes's socket there has got acid in it. Yeah, that's a large amount. I think even right over as far as the CPU slot as well. I think has got some down there. That's just like, yeah, that board has pretty much had it. So yeah, thank you for the parts, Paul. It's much appreciated. Right, where are we on this? Okay, so not on there, not on there. Yeah, man. There we go. Right, 6 out. Yeah, 6 need to go back. I need more tea. This one is cold. Right. So these were all 100 mic 16s. Yeah, 1, 2. Always worth double checking just in case something's ended up in the wrong hole in my case. Yeah. Well, it's not exactly difficult to unfortunately end up with one in the wrong hole. Right, let's get these back in now. So note as well with these that the ones that I'm putting back in are actually smaller radius as well. So they're the same length, slightly smaller radius. I think they've actually got a different base pattern. Oh no, same size base. Just for some reason they always bend them out. It's a pain in the butt. But it does mean that you can do that with them. They'll actually stay in place on their own. It's always handy. Right, come on, little iron. 350. I don't normally run this iron so hot, but I've got so much thermal mass on this board that it's just as much heat in it as we can get. Come on. Right, there we go. It's nice and in there. Just help hold it down a bit. Okay. Oh, that wouldn't be good. I need to knock the power supply out. Right. There we go. Click. Click. Right. This all carries on. I'll be done by midnight. Let's see if we can do it quicker than that. And start practicing for Nova. So I alluded to it a little bit on the UK scene chat as to things not going exactly right. With Hoffman's board, and there you go. That was indeed true. So what it turned out to be 3 separate faults. It was actually quite an interesting fix in the end. Unfortunately for me, one of the faults was actually caused by poor lighting, because the work lamp that I usually use at Nova, it went home with Adrian in 2018, and of course Adrian couldn't make it last year because of family commitments, and so I ended up bringing this little twiddly USB work light, and I'd managed to I was doing a reflow on one of the hex buffers, and I'd managed to accidentally short out 2 of the address lines. So was there address lines? Data lines? Data lines, sorry. And yeah, that could have gone better. But the other issue was an intermittent fault where it wouldn't find a compact flash drive or an IDE, so one of these things, and that turned out to be solved by the fact that I had reflowed these buffers. But the issue was then I'd shorted out the other lines, and my compact flash card there apparently also had a bad connection on it. So when I was testing it, it took me quite a while. I ended up literally going down to a logic level on the lines for the to try and work out what was going on. And eventually realising that I'd shorted out these pins, and it was a little wisp of solder, literally like 1/10 of a millimetre on 2 lines off one of the things, because I hadn't put enough flux on in one place. It's just like kicking myself over that one. And then to make matters worse, with the that card not working, so I'd actually got the thing working and hadn't realised it, and spent another 3 weeks trying to work out why the hell it was intermittent. And what it had been was, of course, that there was just this dry joint on one of these buffers, and that was the thing that was causing it in the first place. And then, annoyingly, then my card itself was also intermittent. I only realised it when I put it into, it stopped working, and I put it into my Amiga, and it was still not working. And then it was, and then it wasn't, and it wasn't, and it wasn't. It's like, oh right, so yeah, that could have been better. Right, we're getting there. Right. This one's going to be fun. That way around, I think. Just double check on that. So this one, because the solder mask has come off. Yeah, that's good. Just double check that that is actually the negative pin, because God knows I don't want to put in another capacitor backwards. Not that I've done that on stream before. So yeah, power supply. So turn it on. Okay. One more out of this lot. Okay. Looks good. Right. So what we've got next then? Next we will do whatever these are, which are 47s. So that one and that one, I think. Yep, so these two here. So unfortunately I've not got any 4716s in, but I do have 4725s in the same form factor, so no harm, no foul on that. Where are we? I can't see the end of the pins on this. This is those to the other end. On there. On there. So 16 and I'm quite looking forward to Nova next year. Yeah, 4716. purely and simply because got a couple of interesting fixes to do. A screen replacement for a Lynx, which I've not done before, which is going to be probably hellish, and a recap and probably graphic update on PC Engine, which I have to look up the parts I need for that one, but yeah, never done anything with PC Engine at all. I'm not even sure I've ever even seen one before, so it's going to be interesting times. Yes, I am now using the smallest stub of solder ever, and possibly the hottest stub of solder ever. I just don't want to waste solder. Positive, negative. Right, there we go. Yeah, it might be the links that I'm fixing. Okay. So, looking good there. Right, what we've got left? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. I've got this right. 4, 5, 6. Yep. Good. I've not missed anything out. So we've only got 2 different kinds left. We've got 10 mic, 47. Oh, that's not good. Right, here's where things get fun, you see. That's a 47. Pretty sure I shouldn't have any 47s left. Oh, here we go. Alright, double check. What have we just put on here? 47 there. 47 there. Oh, okay. No, that's all fine. Okay, so that means I've got a 47 out somewhere instead of something else. So 10, 22, another 47. Or have I... oh, hang on. Yeah, 22, 22. This is the reason why you always check everything before you do it. 22, 22, 10 and 10. Alright, let's put that back. Yeah. 2 more 22s, let me get rid of the 2 47s. Yes, Cass, I know, you want food. Give me a break. Turn. Okay. So what we have now is a small amount of confusion. Oh, the 2250s, okay, right. Yeah. Three, 4. Right, there we go. That's the reason why I always double check stuff and write it down while I'm doing it, and then mark them off when I'm doing it, because otherwise you just end up screwing things up, and that's never good for these boards. Yeah, in most cases it probably wouldn't matter that much, but do the 22s. 1, 2. That's a 22. That's a 22. Yeah, right. Sorry, 4. You might just end up with things like slightly different audio filters, just for shits and giggles. It's a backlit screen or something, isn't it, for the links? Is it screen replacement or replacing the backlight? One of the two. Whole screen, yeah. Haven't looked too much into it. I had a quick look at what's involved, and it was like heat gunning one of the ribbon cables off or something like that, which is going to be interesting. And probably something I'll do earlier on in the weekend rather than later, because it's not a job for drunk Paul, that's for sure. And that said, I'm actually pretty sure that drunk Paul's better at recaps than sober Paul. Yeah, I think it's the full screen. He did send me a link on what needed doing with it. I had a look and stupidly said yes. So we'll go from there. But if he's willing to trust me with it, I think we did alright with the composite mod on the 2600 last year, so that was completely unprepared for. So there we go. Right, that one there, yeah, 22. Okay. I swear I'll put the right ones back in there. You're right, this stream is basically Lewis Rossman with more Amigas and less competence. Yeah, going back to the machine of Hoffman's that caused all that problem. I actually managed to talk to him because he did a set recently for 8-Bit Man Cave's million subscriber mark, and one of the machines that he used for that was the machine that was causing all the hassle. Apparently it's been rock solid ever since, so kind of happy about that. Because a little bit dubious when I sent it back, because the fault went away, which was never a good thing. Yeah, it's they do. You know, sometimes you'll fix something and it'll stop happening, and then you're just like, is it actually fixed? happened here is that because of the ground plane, one of the caps hasn't actually soldered right through. So I wouldn't bother doing this, but there you go. It's not going. That's because this is the side of the board where there was some residual damage from the battery, and there we go. That's taken. Sometimes it can be a bit weird as to how the solder re-sticks on it after that. So one of the things I have yet to do with this streaming setup is make it so that I can show the Amiga screen. I've tried doing it with just putting a webcam at the screen, but unfortunately the other webcams that I have are so low quality, and because I don't really stream enough to make it worth my while to buy decent webcams, apart from that one there, which even then is certainly not that good. It's always fun trying to test these things afterwards. You take my word for it for the most part. Yeah, it did sound good. Spent quite a lot of time on the audio side of that machine, just making sure that everything was neat and tidy. The stripped out the modulator and a few of the other RF components. Something that Hoffman likes done with the machines is to strip out as much that will cause RF interference as possible. And it's one of the things I always ask when I do recaps of 600s and 1200s is, do you want the modulator left in? Because you can use the port in the back to stick in a HDMI from an Indyvision, and just causes less noise in general if they're not in. There's also a couple of caps that don't need, well, 3 caps that don't need putting back if you don't want the modulator. Just makes my life a little bit cheaper, easier. Right, down to the last two. I've got 2 10 mics, which is, I believe, that one there and that one there. Right. It's always the last one, isn't it? So what happened there was I didn't let the solder melt through anywhere near far enough, because there's a huge ground plane on this one. And even then, jeez. So what happened then was the cap came out, but it's still not melted right through. That, or I've got a suction issue. Right, come on. A bit more heat on you. Okay, right, so what we've got here is this side of the board has obviously had an issue with battery acid all the way over here, and it's actually crusted on this side, so that's the reason why that's not going through. So what we'll do is we'll a little bit of flux, and we'll do it with the gun because we've got more heat off it. We'll put some on this side as well. Which looks horrible, I know, but we'll see if we can get it through from this side. There we go, sorted. Right, last two. That one there, and that one there. Of course, now, the problem with this is that we're never going to get enough thermal mass to actually solder this one back on, are we? No, maybe we will. It hasn't gone that through though, has it? No. Alright. So, the theory is that's everything. It should be even better if I hadn't just cropped that a bit short. But okay, looking good. Just one last little double check of all the polarities to make sure everything's in right. No reason why it shouldn't be, but it's nearly midnight. Oh, past my bedtime. Yep, all good. Okay. So, what do we reckon, people? Will she go or will she blow? I'm really hoping not blow because, quite frankly, I don't need another trying to work out what Paul got wrong stream. Now, next question is, what did this idiot do with his audio cables? So let's put them there. Right. That's alright, I've got the amp above the camera. Okay. So what we're giving this then, 50-50? Let's see what we have. And contact. Purple screen. Yeah, close enough. Alright, next. Ha! Yeah, this takes absolutely forever to load. I assume there's probably somewhere set in a Gotek. Yeah, I should really. Not entirely sure how, to be honest. Like I say, I could stick another camera up and just point it at the other screen. Yeah, need some kind of video capture. I've got a video capture, one of the old Pinnacle cards, but two things wrong with it. First of all, it doesn't work with Mac properly unless you buy some software or pirate some software. And second of all, one of my cats pissed on it. So, to be fair, it didn't piss on it. It pissed in the box that it was in, because, you know, cats. Right. Oh, look at that. Didn't even need to use the board schematics today. Right. Oh yeah, black screen for people. Because figured we'll probably just stick one of these on for now. There we go. Look at that. Ew, that's harsh. So yeah, seems to work. Yeah. Do I want to exit? No, I don't want to exit. Stupid thing. What I have lost is power. There we go. Yeah, so there we have it. One fixed A500 plus recap. Relatively easy. And welcome to the streaming area. As you can see, we have all sorts of funky stuff. There's the all the heat tools, the desk, and yeah, behind the scenes. Oh, that's not working. That's working though. There you go. Right. On that note, I think I'm going to call it a night. So, yeah. Success. I'll take that one. Going to continue on now. I'll give this machine another 20-minute soak test. Just push it backwards a little bit so it's not sitting on the edge. So something I do with all the machines, I just end up running them for 20-25 minutes, just let them play audio, gameplay, just to double check that everything seems to be working. But yeah, at the moment we've got all good. You know, none of these are getting warm, which is always a good sign. And my knockoff Gotek works, so double win. Right, I shall catch everybody later. Have a good one, y'all. Ah, professionalism.